Let's do it.
I mean, hey, folks, happy Monday. We got kind of a odd one today because, Brandon and I, apparently the Niners don't want him, but this is according to him.
This is according to
And
social
no,
media.
I don't think it's the Niners don't want you, buddy. I think it's you want number one wide receiver, number one option on offense, money, and you're not the best player on offense on the Niners. I got seriously thinking about this, Ty.
Yep.
Do you remember a game where he went full Jerry Rice, took it over, and was the reason we walked down and won it? Anything come to mind? You can have a minute. It's okay.
I can't. I know there are games where
There's
he could have.
There's a couple games where he stepped up big in moments.
There's a couple games, yeah. We have big
but
games.
He never did a full Jerry Rice, take a game over. You cannot stop this guy no matter what.
The Bucks game this year, the Bucks game this year, he had that moment. Okay. That was him. They couldn't stop him. And he could have had a bigger game than what he had he gotten the ball more. Because he was basically open every play. They couldn't guard him.
But it's just one of those $30 million a season for a guy that admits he's the fourth option on the offense. He would be the highest paid offensive player, right?
Annually? On the team, yeah. But behind Trent Williams, I think Trent's due to make 37, 35, 37, something like that.
His annual value was like 23, 24 million a season when he signed it, right?
Trent? Yeah, maybe.
I think sure. That 6-year contract was like 23 million a season or something annually. Yeah. It's going up right now, but that is what it is, right?
Yeah.
But still, it's like, what makes you? Are you the best offensive player on the team? Like, it's hard to say. Like, this argument could be one that could be made by many people, right? And it's the truth. It really could. We got Bebop. This guy's always around. He's faithful. What's up, Bebop? We got Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. What's up, man? But it's like he's been in the league 4 seasons. He's had 2 1,000-yard seasons, right? Last year he had 1,300 yards, 75 catches. He has a second-team All-Pro. Has not been elected to the Pro Bowl, although maybe he got snubbed last year, and I'll say that right now.
Yeah,
but when it comes to $30 million a season, you got to be the man for that. The man. The man, the myth, the legend. And being the fourth option on the offense, you're not the man, the myth, the legend. Am I wrong?
Yeah, but it's perception versus reality. And it's a perception, like everyone's looking at the perception of 30 million a season. That's the perception. The reality is he won't be making 30 million a season. That's just the fluff number. That's just people doing simple math.
Yeah.
But we know at the end of the day, he'll probably get 10 million, then about 15 million, then it'll go up to 24 million, something like that. Man, that 30 million number just never happens. So what the big thing is that we don't all know about is the guaranteed number. Like, I think that's the thing that players focus on nowadays. It's not the annual salary, it's the guaranteed number. How much am I guaranteed to make? Because NFL contracts are not guaranteed. Like, the full contract is not guaranteed unless it's written in there. Unless you have Kirk Cousins' agent, who seemingly can guarantee his entire contract every year. I don't know how he does it, but for everyone else, that's not the case. So is he going to get, that 80 million guaranteed, 90, 100, whatever the going rate is? That's the thing, like, we should really be focused on, and what these reporters, these insiders who seemingly know everything, should be trying to figure out.
Insiders.
Yeah. They know nothing.
And I just look at that like insiders. Like what kind of insider are you? Do you actually know anything? Are you talking to someone that's inside the organization and this is where you're getting your info? I'm not willing to give up my source. That's what they normally say, right?
Yeah. That's smoke and mirrors.
And a lot of times, who's the source? Give up your source. Who's your source? Is it the team? Is it your baby mama's uncle's cousin girlfriend?
Exactly.
Is it does your dog talk to you in your sleep?
They dream about it. I dream.
Exactly.
My source was a premonition. Anything like back in the day when
so let's go off of what Brandon Ayuk said himself. The Niners don't want me.
He didn't say that.
This is like the
he
young
didn't
and
say
the
that.
restless.
Say the exact quote. Say the exact quote. He didn't say that.
What did he say?
He said they don't want me.
He said they don't want me.
He said they don't want me.
He didn't say don't the Niners don't want me.
Nope. Oh. He never said the 49ers, Niners, the 49, bang bang Niner gang, nothing.
He just said they don't want me back.
He didn't say San Francisco, Santa Clara, nothing. He said they don't want me back. They. That's it.
Well, that's like they, and people that say we when it's really them. What's this we stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not very specific. But let's say they is the San Francisco 49ers, buddy.
Okay.
What would you trade Ayuk for?
You got to give me a first, at least a first, because I spent a first to get him. And we've seen that he's worth a first. He's played to that value. Plus, remember, before the draft, all of the insiders said that the 49ers were going to trade him for a top 10 pick in the draft, right? He was going to go for a top pick in the first round. So there's your barometer. So you got to give me that. And maybe a third or fourth back, or maybe another young rookie receiver or a young player that I could fill in somewhere else. Like, you got to give me a player back as well.
And
if I'm thinking like, all picks, you got to give me 3 picks. You got to give me a first, a third, and like a fifth.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm honestly thinking let's trade, not necessarily player for player, because wide receivers are worth a lot. And yeah, the new team's going to have to sign onto a contract extension, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a sign and trade for sure. I mean, a sign and extend, I should say. Trade and extend. Excuse me. Yeah. Similar to DeForest Buckner, that trade.
So, they're probably not going to want to give us a bunch of draft picks because they're also going to have to pay him.
Mm-hmm.
But, at the same time, I'm looking at, what can we get now that would help us now and for the next several years, right? Like a young, say center, or a young right tackle, someone that's actually pretty good at it, though, not just a mid, someone that's pretty good at it. And I was actually talking on the phone with my friend, and he was like the Ravens. What would you trade Brandon Ayuk to the Ravens for? I was like, the Ravens? And I'm thinking, well, first things first, they took our guy, right before us, Rosengarten.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Niners very heavily scouted him.
Yeah.
They went to his pro day. They spent time with him after the pro day was done. So they were, if he fell to that pick, that I guarantee you that was going to be our pick in the second round. But Baltimore took him. So, you know, Baltimore comes calling. I'm saying, you know that guy you drafted right before us that we really wanted? Well, we'll take him. And I'm going to want, you know, because Ayuk is a first round pick and he's proven talent, and you're giving us a rookie, we're going to need more than just him.
Yeah.
So, you know, after we get the rookie right tackle, we get, maybe a third and a fifth to go along with that, or maybe, you know, a second and a fifth. But at the same, and I'm just looking at it like, you know, or what about Isaiah Likely? You know, let's do a 2 for 2. You can have Ayuk and Latu. You give us Rosengarten and Likely and a fourth. And then, you know, we have a legitimate young wide receiver, or not wide receiver, but tight end, and an offensive lineman that we were very high on in the draft. So moving forward, we have 2 young players out of it. And, you know, they're going to have to deal with Cameron Latu, although he wasn't looking bad late in camp before he got hurt.
Yeah.
He really wasn't.
He wasn't. He showed up in that last preseason game.
You know, they have Mark Andrews too.
Yeah.
So it's
they got their number one in place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Similar to us.
You know, upgraded our tight end room and brought in someone to compete for that right tackle spot. And now I actually look at our wide receiver room like they're loaded. I mean, you could tell me I'm wrong, but I look at them like they're loaded, right?
You're saying without Ayuk, they would be loaded, or with?
I'm honestly thinking without. Look at all the guys we have. We have Debo. We have Jennings. Now we have 2 rookies, which who knows what they're going to do. Ronnie Bell actually looked pretty good in the preseason. You know, during the season, he had his issues on kick returning. Yeah.
Well, we're not talking about that. We're talking about just him as a receiver.
That's exactly it. Ronnie Bell's a pretty good. He's good in the offense, right? Then you got a guy that also runs a 4.33 and Danny Gray, who's probably on the bubble, big time on the bubble, right? And then you got Chris Conley.
Conley, who stepped up at the end of the season.
I like our wide receiver room even without Ayuk. Yeah, it's a little better with him, but I like it without him too. So comes a certain point in time where it's like, you know, we do hear a lot about contract talks. Oh, they stalled. Now he's saying they don't want me back. Did they actually tell you that? Or are you assuming that? Because you know what assuming does.
Yep. We do. But once again, we don't know who they are. Here's the thing about moving him and all that other stuff. People talk about us being in this Super Bowl window, in this shrinking, and we're still trying to win it all. Do you really want to give up one of your best offensive pieces while you're in the pursuit of winning it all? Is that the smart thing to do?
Probably not.
Hey, Dina.
It's not incredibly smart to overpay for him either, though.
No, it's not. Well, we don't know if we will. Thing is, no one really knows what the numbers are. And until like someone reputable steps forward and says, hey, this is the contract that's on the table, you know, they can take it or leave it. We don't know. I mean, TJ Houshmandzadeh came out of nowhere and was like, yeah, if they offered him the St. Brown deal, he would have signed it. Well, TJ, since you know so much, like, why don't you say what's on the table? If you're so much in the know, you're his coach, you know what deal is on out there, say what was offered. No one wants to say anything, but they know so much.
Yeah, well, then you had Chad Johnson. Shout out to him.
Shout out to
He's
Ocho.
freaking. He was like saying, "Oh, you got to get that 32 million." Okay, Ocho. Okay, Ocho Cinco. Thank you for putting that in his head. We really appreciate that. Like, I know you used to be a wide receiver diva. I know this, but at this point, you're talking to a guy that's never made the Pro Bowl. He has a second team All Pro, and he's not the number one guy like a Justin Jefferson or an Armand St. Brown.
Yeah, and he's just going off that old theory of, okay, one guy gets paid, okay, my contract has to be higher. That's all he's going off of. Not actual numbers and facts and, figuring things out.
Facts and stats.
Just oh, who was the last receiver to get a contract? What was their number? Oh, they got $1. I need $3. He's just going off that very basic, simple principle. Not the fact that, oh, I wasn't as productive as that guy. So, I'll take 75 cents or 80 cents since he got $1. That's fair. Nope.
Yeah, the nope is right.
Nope.
And at this point, yeah, I would like to keep him. He's not the biggest, he's not the fastest, he's a good route runner. 4.50 40. So like I said, he's not the fastest. We actually we have 3 wide receivers right now that run a faster 40. Maybe even more. I don't know about
he has deep speed though. Guys. He gets deep and he gets open. I think that 40 time, he said when he ran that 40, he had a hamstring issue or something like that, whatever it was. So it really isn't his fastest time. But he clocks in. He runs faster than that. If you see him out there, he's constantly running by people and getting open. So I think he runs faster than what that 40 time says. Hold on a second.
And that really could be the case. Game speed versus 40 time, right? Look at who fun. Exactly. He has good game speed, right?
Yeah.
Well, we don't. He's recovering from an ACL, so let's wait and see about that right now.
But a good one is Ricky Purcell. What did Ricky won? A 4.41?
Yep.
Yeah, but I was doing my research on him, and I think before his senior year at Florida or something, they clocked him at like 4.38, 4.37, somewhere in the high 4.3s. So it's like you never know from run to run what you might get. But these guys, when you see them on the field during the game, they're running by people and getting open. That's what I care about the most.
And that's true. Uh-oh. Yeah, Dina, there still is talk of that happening.
And you know where that's coming from. The Pittsburgh radio people.
Because they want a legitimate wide receiver opposite of I don't know their wide receiver's name. Pickens.
Yeah. They know he can be a bit of a head case and check out at times. When he's on his game, he's on it. But there's a lot of times he checks out. He's got that typical Pittsburgh wide receiver syndrome where they are super talented, but up here they tend to check out and just not be there all the way. Well, we know that's not Brandon Ayuk, right? He's always locked in, always engaged, always on his game. They know they can count on him play after play. So that's why they're like, oh, yeah, we want him. But that's just radio guys talking mess. Nothing else.
Boy. Well, the radio guys, they're just they want Debo, they want Ayuk. They know they saw them last year in week 1 and said, yeah, these guys are legit.
And that's a legit thing. And people got to remember that, especially when it comes to Brandon Ayuk. Remember game 1 in Pittsburgh last season. They could not guard Brandon Ayuk. Literally. He was just wide open all the time. Remember Patrick Peterson, their number 1 corner, was talking all that mess during the game. Oh, I'm gonna get me some picks on Brock Purdy. He got to tell and blah blah blah. And what happened? He was getting just cooked. And I was there at the game. I was sitting in the Pittsburgh fan section, surrounded by fans. And I can tell you by like late in the second quarter, mid-second quarter, they was already fed up with Brandon Ayuk. And was like, when they got a stop on second down or they made it like 3rd and long, they were just like, I'm not even celebrating because he's just going to throw it to the Ayuk. That was their reaction.
That's true.
So of course, the Pittsburgh people was like, "Oh, we need an Ayuk. We don't have one of them."
And that's exactly it. Is they don't have one of them, they want one of them, right?
Yep.
And this year, instead of investing in wide receivers, they invested in O-line.
Mm-hmm.
They took my guy, man. They took my
guy. Everybody's taking your guys.
You kidding? Tennessee. Did I ever tell you? I did like all kinds of, my mock draft episodes. Yeah, I did a few off of YouTube. And there was a point in time where I'm trading Ayuk, folks. I'm trading him. And it seemed like Tennessee just did not want him. For whatever reason, the Tennessee Titans didn't want him. I was trying to trade up to the 7th spot. I would always trade with Atlanta, and I got the 8th spot. And then as I'm I start the draft, they pick the guy I was trading up to pick right before I picked.
Oh wow!
Mm-hmm. There was always a good, there's always a good tackle up there. Though. There's always is. Well, I wanted that J.C. Latham, that monster, that freaking 6'8", 335-pound monster that runs like a 4.85 40. I wanted that. I wanted him.
Well, everybody wanted him, right? Because everybody wants that monster old lineman who's ultra athletic. That's everybody's dream.
Well, I'm thinking about the future here, though. Trent Williams ain't getting younger.
Well, we know that, but somehow wants an extension. I don't know how that's going to work.
Well, I don't think it is. He's under contract till 2026.
I know. And people are like, yeah, give him an extension and lower the cap. I wouldn't touch that contract with a 10-foot pole.
I wouldn't either.
Because then we're going to be
hit now.
We're going to be in a D4 type situation. He goes off and retire, and we're paying him with dead cap money 5 years later. Like, why do that? That makes no sense.
And that's 100% true. He's going to be 38 when his contract expires, right? He's 35, going to be playing at 36, 37 2025, 38 in 2026. He's going to be 38.
Yeah.
How long does he plan on playing?
Exactly. And people, people talk about how our team is old now. Well, think about years from now when he's even older. What are you going to say then?
And we have an older like Nick Bosa because he's a core guy, right? Fred Warner, he's a core guy.
Yeah.
When it comes to the other defensive guys, Hargraves is probably going to be gone by then.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like core players, right? Like who do we have here? George Kittle's not getting any younger. 2-3 years. They'll probably want to go do WWE. Shout out to him, It's his
Like just
passion,
retire to
right?
take care of his body, you know,
One
or
of the
something because he plays
yeah. No,
physical and he's always
I
banged
totally
up.
think he's going
Yeah,
WWE after he retires, buddy.
could be.
I think he's gonna do it. You
Yeah.
know. But then you got like what Juice is 33.
You got Juice, Trent Williams, George.
Yep.
Who else? I think those are
All
only
in the
like
30 plus club, folks.
yeah. You
You know.
mentioned Hargrave, who
Mm-hmm.
he's on a bubble of being a core guy to me, but you know, I think, but those are like the core guys who are over 30. The only ones that are over 30. Everyone else is under 30.
And that's true. That's true. You
I
know,
think Fred Warner, Dre
years from
Greenlaw,
now, by the
Lenore.
time they
Yeah,
hit 30, we're going to need to be drafting, you know, people to replace folks. And that's just how
yeah,
it goes.
yeah.
Right. It's like the dynasty years. How did we get those dynasty years? Did we sign everybody? Did we sign all the, what is it? What was it? Daniil Hunters and, you know, did we sign everybody? No, free agency wasn't even a thing back then.
No, that came
We had
later.
to draft and trade.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how you
And that's
got
what
players.
we did. But it revolved, right?
Yep.
Like Dwight Clark and the Freddie Solomon turned into Jerry Rice and John Taylor. Right? Russ Francis turned into a Brent Jones, who then turned into a Vernon Davis, right? Like the life cycle of the NFL players. That's how it goes.
Roger Craig turned into Ricky Waters eventually, right? And
exactly. And then from Waters to Frank Gore.
Yeah.
You gotta keep, you know, drafting and moving your roster
forward. You got to keep that talent coming is what you got to do.
Exactly.
And it's hard to say, you know, everything's all good. We're just, you know, we're going to win, but with these guys, okay, these guys ain't going to last forever. You know, it is going to be a sad day, but I hope George Kittle stays with us until he retires. I do.
Yeah, we want him to be a Niner for life. I mean, he exemplifies it. So, Dina wants to know where are we in the cap?
Well, we had what? Didn't we have like 37 million or something like that available?
Yeah, we're loaded. I think that got adjusted after CMC's number to that.
Yeah,
like
and then we signed that Hubbard guy, which he didn't cost us much.
Yeah, but we're kind of loaded, Dina. To be honest with you, we got plenty cap money for this year, which they say may roll over into next year and blah blah blah. But I don't think we're done with contracts. Like there's people like Brandon Ayuk, of course, and Lenore, and some others out there who we may be trying to figure out things behind the scenes. Like right now, I see us listed at $32.7 million in cap space. So,
yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. That's enough to sign a guy, maybe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I mean, at this point, it's like, let's see. No, it's not. Oh, that's interesting. But yeah, you know, at this point, what do we do with this money? You know, who's left, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really nobody. I saw some guys, and I won't say their name, that they typically stream in their car. You know, maybe the wives don't approve. Who knows, folks, right?
Kick them out, whatever, right?
But and they're saying bring in Bakhtiari,
who's out there.
Thank you. And I'm looking at him going, he hasn't even played a full season the last 3 years. 2 of those 3 years, he only played one game.
Yeah. Like that's kind of the overreaction and overthinking of people sometimes. Like, oh, this guy's available, bring him in. But then on the same token, they'll complain about, oh, well, this guy, he's always injured. He's not available. Eric Armstead is always injured. He's not available to be with us on the field. So it was good we let him go. But then you want to go sign a guy who is never on the field, right?
That's
and
not going to work out.
And he plays left tackle. Like he was primarily playing left tackle before he got injured, right?
Yeah.
So what you going to do with Trent? Like you're going to bring him in for what? And people
That's exactly
think
it. To play right
people
tackle?
people think you could just flip the offensive line and this guy he'll go play right tackle, and it doesn't work that way. It does not work.
It really doesn't.
I remember Andrew Whitworth, saying, "Hey, I'm a left tackle guy. You want me to play on the right? It ain't gonna happen." Hey, I totally just changed my whole body and thinking and everything I do. It doesn't work that way, especially on the fly.
Hey, that's how these guys are talking about it though, is on the fly, right? All right, buddy. Well, you got something going on here in about 10 minutes, right?
Yep.
You talking? Are you going to be talking Team USA, WNBA, all of it?
I'm talking WNBA for sure. I don't know if we'll get into the Team USA thing. We touched a bit on it last week, but there's some things we need to talk about this week. So we're going to be on Mariah's channel in a few.
Yep. Oh, there we go. And that's how they did it, folks. Bryant.
Yeah.
$38 million extension.
Yeah. Which is what all teams do. Paid him until he's
31.
It's common business practice. Give a guy an extension, give him a huge signing bonus. You lower his cap number. That's the way it goes.
That is the way it goes.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, let's get on out of here because I'm sure you need a breather between podcasts here, right?
Indeed. Thank you, sir.
All right, folks. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Keep your notifications on. Subscribe to the Stay Faithful podcast and Bryant Culp. You never know when he's going to be back. He's got.
Make sure you like and subscribe.
He's grinding. He's grinding right now, folks.
That's right. We're proud of him too.
Yep.